Good morning, everyone, and good afternoon, whatever you are in the world. But this is Dr. Hynd, and welcome to a new episode of Leadership Series. And today I have an incredible woman connecting from Australia. Oh my God, I feel the word, we're like wrapped up around the planets. Shirley Joy Joffe, welcome. And I'm so honored to have you with me today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hind. I am really, really pleased to be with you.
And I never do live so early, so I'm just like all excited, and I'm like,
Oh,
so I sent on LinkedIn, I was like, we come in early because we have Australia in the house with us, so like
yeah,
everybody wake up, let's go. And
let's
it's late
go.
time, it's like nighttime for you, isn't it?
Yeah, 6:30 in the evening, so not too late. It's
Oh, okay, so it's
yeah,
good, yeah.
not too bad. People think that it's like completely topsy turvy, but for where are you in the world, Dr.
I
Hind?
am in Morocco and it's summertime.
Yeah, so yeah, it's not like completely skew. When I speak to people in America and that side of the world, it can be a bit odd time wise.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
that's really 24
yeah,
hours or like 12 hours around, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I
exactly.
love.
So yeah.
So this series is about leadership, and the first question I love to ask is what is your understanding of leadership? How do you define it? How do you live it? How do you what is it
Mm.
for you?
It is such an interesting question because I have a slightly different take on leadership. I describe leadership as how you lead from within
Uh-huh.
and then it emanates outwards. So
Mm,
getting self sorted all the way through
mhm.
will then translate into everything. It ripples out into every part of your life.
Wow.
And leadership is often, I find, described only in the perspective of if you have a team or if you have a business or anything like that. But leadership really is life. You are leading your life,
I love
and
it.
how you show up and how you interact with people, that interaction
Mhm.
is the most crucial part of leadership.
I love it. I think it's the most beautiful thing. And the way we always talk about it inside the BAL method is really about self leadership. And self
Yes.
leadership is your very well articulated definition of, how you lead your life.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. And it's so true. Leadership starts from within. So,
Yes.
how do you do that? You help Maverick leaders. What does it mean, Maverick leaders?
Leaders.
Does it come from the Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movie? Is it?
No, no, no. Well,
Okay.
it's a term that I use because it really describes the new leaders of the world that I work
Okay.
with. So
Uh-huh.
these are people who have broken away from the old ways of doing things.
Uh-huh.
Often, very authoritarian, very barking orders, telling people what to do, and it's very external.
Mm.
The way I work with people is actually to dismantle all the old ways because we are moving into a complete new way of being in the world.
Mm.
And more so now, so much so that the old styles are kind
Mm.
of coming up
Mm.
to bite us, to kind of like, no, we want you back again in
Bring
that
it
old,
all back.
bring
That's
you
so
back
cool.
into that old control.
Yeah.
And all the stories we tell ourselves, all the people we're surrounded by, the organizations we're surrounded by,
Yeah.
the very established industries, even they are realizing that it just doesn't work anymore. People
Mm.
are much more intuitive, they're much
Mhm.
more intelligent, they're much
Mhm.
smarter, they're more aware of their emotions, they're aware of how they are.
Mhm.
They've been through the hustle and the bustle and the
Right.
push,
Yes.
and they've had enough. And we're coming to a space where there's a merging. So
Uh-huh.
we're not ripping out the old paradigms completely, but what
Uh-huh.
we're doing is we're coming up to the edge and seeing what doesn't work. And let's break out and let's think of and find possibilities that are completely new, that embrace all of the new things coming up, including things like, I don't want to say the dirty word AI, but even
It's
there are,
true. It is. It's so true. Yeah.
yeah, neurodivergence has really come to the fore.
Mhm.
We are noticing different versions of that, whether it be neurodivergence as described by the brain chemistry and how the brain is wired, but also how we have become certain ways through old trauma, old ways of working, things that have wired us in a different way. And how do we work with that, especially as entrepreneurs, especially as solopreneurs or new business owners?
Yes.
Because most of the time, I'm not talking to people. I've worked in corporate. I've worked in corporate for many years, but we're talking about people who have either they have left that space, or
Yes.
they're transitioning into the C-suite positions where they have the responsibility as
Right.
well as the authority to
Yes.
make significant changes that have impact. Not just random things. We'll put a wellness program in where everyone sits on a webinar, listens a little bit, and then carries on their life in the same way.
That doesn't do much, does it?
Doesn't do anything. We
No.
have to create the change, and we
Yes.
have to work out where we have tried to fit in, but
Yeah.
it doesn't work for us.
I love what you said. You said many things that are so powerful. And I want to come back to what do we do to create the change? And you touched on it by saying that, when you reach a C-level positions, you get to do the work because you have to get the company moving and the institution,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
also become the leader of the change. You
yeah,
create that change.
yeah.
So how do you bring that in when you work with leaders and your research and your contemplation about leadership?
Yeah, so it does work differently depending on where the leader is sitting, but
Mhm.
it always starts with how are they leading themselves? Do they work from stress? Do they work from fear? Are
Yes.
they working purely to create financial result?
Uh-huh.
This will all translate down, and I found that once they let that go,
Mhm.
actually the financial benefits exponentialize. The
Yeah, it's
productivity
fun.
increases, the efficiency, the people beneath them, the people working with them, whether you are, working on your own and you've got small teams of little pods of freelancers
Yes.
or
Yeah.
agencies or these sort of things, or you have teams that you're working with or managers you're working with, how you conduct yourself and how you describe how you're working, because every single person works differently. And in the organization, really seeing
Mhm.
how the differences are between people and
Mhm.
putting a cohesive plan together, a cohesive structure that
Yes.
allows them to work to their strengths.
Mm.
I know, growing up, we were always told to look at your weaknesses and work on them.
That's right.
Yeah, no, we have strengths.
So
So
we
weaknesses, I
for
look at them, okay, they're baseline, but I'm going to look at where are my strengths. So if I've got somebody placed in a position who is, for example, very detail orientated, and they're given the task of doing huge, big, overarching plans,
Mhm.
they can do it, but that's not their strengths. You can utilize them so much better and really honor the differences
Mhm.
and honor them both with your encouragement and how you interact,
Yes.
also financially. Every
Mm.
single cog in the organization is
Yes.
important. You take
That's right.
one out, falls
Mhm.
apart.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because they all it's the whole that makes the
Oh,
organization work, not just one
exactly.
person.
No, no, no.
So tell me, how did you come about to become that, leader in understanding what's missing today to help
Yeah.
institutions grow? What
So
brought you to this?
what brought me to that? I've had a very, very interesting and unique journey
Mhm.
through life. I started off as actually a fitness instructor and working with
Oh,
athletes.
that's
And
nice.
yeah,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
I was a professional dancer as well. So I was dancing and choreographing.
Uh-huh.
So if you want people to actually do what you ask, you can't just tell them, because you don't have authority in that space.
That's
But what
right.
you do, you don't have uh, given authority. So you need to take the authority.
Take
And
the
you do that
authority.
through passion. You do that through understanding. You do that through communication. And you do that through having people buy into the vision. And how they buy into the vision is what's in it for me?
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy
Always.
into a vision. Oh, it's what's in it for me.
Will it help me? Will I become
Will it
better? Will I have
Exactly.
results? Will I make
Will I have-
money? Always.
Exactly. All of these things. So I started there. Then I went into corporate. I worked for 15 years in the corporate environments in investment banks, very high level investment banks, legal firms, pharmaceutical companies. And I would always go in the learning and development arena. And I'd be brought in as a consultant in all the different areas to work with the managers and then with leadership. So I would be that fly on the wall.
So you always had a human behavior
Always.
analysis or consultancy part of you. Yeah.
Yeah, always.
Incredible.
And I love it. I find it even now, this year, one of my big goals was actually to revisit all of the old psychological models that I studied and worked with, because I've been working so much more intuitively and using more newer structures.
Yes.
And I wanted to see how they come together, which things are obsolete, and which things actually build together and then enhance people's experience of doing that. Yeah. And then I'm a healer as well, obviously. So,
and I would love to hear more about the results you find when you compare traditional and conventional, I will say, psychology and models to the way you approach it energetically, I will say. Shall we use it as this word? How do you approach that? What will you use? Energetically, right?
Energetically, yeah.
Yes.
I call it intuitive energetics. I go right out to the sort of woo-woo stuff I work with. When I'm working with healing, when I'm working with healing, I use crystals and all sorts of things. But essentially, I'm looking at how every part of the person is working together. Is their body following on? Because if the body doesn't agree, you can do everything up here, everything out there, and the body will be like, no, I'm going to go into.
Can you share with us an example of someone in like an institution and you worked with them and you saw how the body was just not following what they wanted to do? Yes.
Yeah. So I worked with in a pharmaceutical company. I worked with the tech team actually, because when I originally went in, I was actually training tech, believe it or not, and I brought in the psychology to tech, and worked with the second line people. So they're the geekies. I love them, the nerds, the geeks, the ones who are really
So what we call a back office, right?
Back office, yeah, exactly. So I worked with them, and I noticed that first of all, they were attached to the screen because they're constantly firefighting, and they were given a script. They had to follow the script, and I would see them in their chair. They would be sat down in the most ergonomic chairs ever. You know, they think beautiful ergonomic.
They invested in their well-being.
Well, the company invested in the actual physical,
the material. Okay, yes,
material well-being, and they were sitting there like this.
Really?
Yeah, and they'd be answering the phone like this, and they'd get to halfway through the shift, and the person on the other end of the line that's phoning, and bear in mind that a lot of the times they're phoning with problems. Of course, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. And I said to them, start off first thing, redress yourself.
Absolutely.
Number one.
Yes.
This is so basic, really basic.
Yeah.
Redress yourself, first of all. Secondly, smile. And think about every single person who is phoning you. You can make their life better.
That's so true. And it is so spot on. Yeah.
Because this one little thing, I mean, I don't know if you've ever had any tech issues and you've spent hours trying to fix them. You get very frustrated.
It does,
so
yes.
So if you've got someone on the end of the line who is chatting at the same time, not just going, do this, but in between, having a conversation, we found.
And not being focused with you because you feel it, right?
Yeah, they're being present. They're just typing on their screen because they've got to get all their notes down.
Yes.
So, they're typing on the screen. So I said to them, slow down. The satisfaction surveys went from 30% to 80% within
Wow.
2
Incredible.
weeks. And we found that the projects that we were putting out, because in large companies, you've always got projects rolling out, new software, new culture, all of these things. Once they had engaged with the team in a positive way, if you then go and ask them to do something for you, they're there. Yes, how can I help you? How can I help?
And they're so welcoming.
Brings the company together. Now, the other thing which we found is when these people went home, and typically they would finish their shift, they're off to the pub. I was in the UK. Off to the pub. I want a drink to forget. That's what they were doing. I want a drink to forget this awful shift that I've just had, that I've had all these people moaning at me. I want to forget it. So
But
I want a
that's their
drink.
job, isn't it? I mean, like, that's the very definition of their job. Help people with problems. Yeah.
Exactly. So when we shine that light on what they're actually doing further than just the job.
Yes.
They finished off. I found that they were going to the gym after work because they were feeling more comfortable.
They want to take care of their body. Yes.
Their body. They were eating better. Even from the perspective of, you're at desk, we would see them with chocolate bars. And, they just want sugar. We noticed that even the stuff they were eating at desk changed. It's not something that we told them to do. It was just by changing the focus of how they interacted. That connection builds.
So they changed their posture and they changed the
attitude.
Smile. Incredible. And that applies to everyone, really. I mean,
it applies to
everybody in anything you do.
I'm in front of you speaking now, and I'm like, yeah, Hynd.
I'd be like, she's not here. I'd be like, where is Shirley?
I don't really want to be here, do I? and that really makes a difference. Now, if you then amplify that across a whole company, how much more energy do you have to work with?
You will amplify that energy.
Yes.
And you will feel like you want to boost it even more. You want to get more of it. Yeah.
Now, this is old. This is the stuff that I used to do 15, 20 years ago.
Really? So you were pretty early. You were very early in getting what today we call soft skills, right? That's kind of a soft skill.
That's one of the things I would bring into companies, soft skills. I was one of the first people who would get people to have fidget toys on their desks.
Yeah. Nice. So that they get the stress out, right?
Get the stress out. Now, when I work with the teams, I work slightly differently. So I look at, I do all the base level stuff, but then I work with.
So tell us about the base level for people watching as they don't understand what it means. What do you mean?
Base level is, things like desk orientation. If I'm in a space,
completely.
Completely. You've got to be in the right space. Different people have different environmental needs. Now, some people, you put them in an open plan office with desks all around them, and they automatically, doesn't matter how wonderful it is, they automatically increase their anxiety level by 50%.
People are watching them, and they're scared.
It's literally the energetics. It is the energetics.
Oh, wow. Incredible.
Yeah. So, and you can tell because you can see it in their body. You can see it in how they are, their eyes, and I look at energy as well. So you see it in their field. So environment.
Okay, environment.
What they have on their desks. Clean desks. Is it cluttered? Is it put away? All of these things, especially now where you find that most people have a certain neurodivergent traits. You need to look at what is their trait. It's not a blanket thing where all offices need to be clean and clear. And No, some people thrive in chaotic space and their anxiety level drops substantially. So you need
Mm.
to check that. The other thing which I do base level is I get people to use a wearable. This is where new technology is coming in. So I
Mhm.
wear an Aura Ring, for example.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Okay.
so there are various wearables. It doesn't have to be that one. But what it does is it's measuring heart rate, it's measuring stress.
That's your ring? Is
Yes,
that
it's
your
my
ring?
yeah.
And it measures all of that.
There's all of it.
Oh my
And
God. Oh.
the most interesting things you can measure such incredible things. Some people, you say to them, right, one of the things I usually get people to do is to have some kind of self-care practice in the day.
Mhm.
I used to say, make sure you meditate every day. Meditate every day. I still think meditation is amazing,
And
but
how
not
long would they meditate for? How long did you ask
minimum.
them to meditate for?
Yeah, minimum, I'd say 10 minutes in the morning. 10 minutes. That's it.
Okay, that's
10
good.
minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon. Rotate the breaks because you don't want to do it after work. You want to do it around the
Within, yes.
slump,
Mhm, mhm.
because then they're energized for the rest of their day.
Yes.
But some people that they don't like meditation, it doesn't work for them. So gardening, going out
Gardening, that's where
for
we're
a walk.
starting with. Yeah.
Yeah, going out for a walk. Some people thrive and they feel very relaxed when they go shopping. So I say to them, go shopping at lunchtime. Yeah.
Wow.
So different people, different ways. And the way I pinpoint all of these, so one of the ways I can find out what is stressful and not is the wearable. But the other way I do it is I've been studying human design, gene keys, cosmic human design for the last 10 years. And
Okay.
I have put that together with language and behavior profile, which
Mm.
is a recognized profiling method to
Okay.
place people in the correct positions.
Mhm.
And I've also looked at how it overlaps with the old Myers-Briggs models.
Oh,
The
yes. Mm.
those ones?
Yes.
Right. So there are 12 profiles in Myers-Briggs. There are 12 possible profiles in human design that can overlap.
So
Um,
you get to have like 24, no more, because 12 times 12, it's like a huge
Well,
number of
this is the
scenarios.
thing. When I work with a company or a team directly, I will do each individual human design profile. I'll be able to tell them where the stress lies, where their fear points are. So
Mhm.
that things like some people are really, really scared of responsibility. That's their a main fear,
Mhm.
and it's built in. So
Mm.
you mitigate that kind of thing. How
So you can't
how
change it. When it's built in, it's hard to change it.
It's oh no, this is the thing, and that's where I think people go wrong with things like human design, is
Uh-huh.
they see the design, the body graph, the chart, and they think, oh, that's me.
Mm.
Well, that's a snapshot of when you were born, and I
Oh,
guarantee that you are not the same person when
of
you were
course not.
born
Of
day
course
one and now. So
not.
we're looking at where are the tendencies, where
Mm.
are the possibilities of those spaces of doubt, fears, and also where are the real strengths. Some
Okay.
people thrive on their own, independent. That's where they're looking at. Other
Uh-huh.
people thrive in a group.
In a group, yeah.
Other people thrive adjacent. We call it team adjacent. So
Which is
they're on
like
the
watching others doing it, yeah?
yeah,
Yeah.
observer. So I'm an observer. I've always worked that way, and I naturally fell into it because I
Incredible.
followed my bent. I
Mhm.
tried being like part of a team like this, and it was very, very difficult for me. I
Mm.
moved jobs that way every 8 months. I couldn't.
Wow, okay. And you realized later that this is not your thing. Yeah.
No, it's not my thing. It's how I am wired.
Mhm.
So I became a consultant, which works wonderfully because
Because
then
then
I'm sure.
you're really always with incredible team and you're in this adjacent position. I love
And then
this analysis of
it
things, and
it's
it's
really,
really
really
true.
made me. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And
so
what you said something so powerful, like when you said about human design, because human design, in the corporate world, it's not something it's not a term we use and we don't even know what it means. So but each one of all of us, every human being has a human design, and it's actually the image of when the person is born. So we've changed. So it's complicated to
Mm.
find out who we are at
Yes,
now, like
and that's
moment.
what I do is I work with people to uncover where conditioning has squished their natural tendencies.
Mm-hmm.
Conditioning has actually helped them because
Incredible.
conditioning can help.
Of course it does.
All conditioning is not bad,
Mm.
but we're looking to see where is it stunting your potential.
So what do you want? Do you want to keep the same shape of that image of HD like through time? Is that what we are looking for? Or
We're
is
looking.
there an
So what I
ideal image
there is
every leader you
no
want to
idea.
get them to
So
be?
human design is so intricate
Mhm.
that each and every person is completely unique. And it's finding that uniqueness that really helps. Yes, what we want to do is where where you've lived, the places you've been, your family, your business life, your career has shaped you out of shape for what you're naturally intended for.
Mm.
That's what I look to shift, and I decondition through the session. So I have a session that I do called a soul discovery.
Uh-huh.
And as I work with that person through just one session, we work on one area. We can't work on everything in 90 minutes. I work on one area, but what I look at is where the conditioning has shaped and twisted them out.
Uh-huh.
Often you find that those people are either very anxious, very stressed. They might have illness. There's physical illness that shows up. The weaknesses in their chart is
Mhm.
actually there. So if someone will tell me I've got stomach problems and it's right there in the chart,
And you can
that's
see it. Wow. Yes.
it's so easy to see. And yeah, back to the teams, there is still other people who are always working for the greater good.
Uh-huh.
So these ones, people with what we call a collective slant,
Yes.
will naturally go to the more leadership positions. And what I try and do is remove hierarchy
Mm.
from the
The
space.
thinking
Because
from the
yeah,
space or from the perception of the space.
the perception of the space, because we've been brought up in hierarchy. This
Yeah.
is better, that is worse, this is better, that is worse. Having an employed job has become the villain recently.
Mm.
You say, "So I've got a full-time job." "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Ah,
Yeah, "I'm so
yes,
sorry."
you
"Oh."
hear that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and you break free from the rat race or break free from the 9 to 5. Some people love it, and it's
Yeah.
actually how they thrive.
Yes, because
And
all is
until yeah,
predictable and organized and
exactly, they
just
want
easy.
stability. Yeah, and they don't necessarily, not everybody wants to lead a team or have loads of responsibility.
Mm.
And it's been villainized
Mm.
as if you haven't got any ambition. You're not
Mm.
ambitious enough, you're not driven enough. And
Mm.
I seek to remove anywhere where someone's been made to feel any shame
Yeah.
or any smallness, and
Mm.
to really have them know what their truth is, what's
Mm.
really important to them. It's the same as when I had my children at that time.
Mhm.
Stay at home mum was a dirty word.
Yeah, you couldn't. That's so true. Mm.
It was like no, and I waited for. I had my kids quite late, and I did that because I wanted my career without distraction,
Mm.
my full career, and then I wanted to be with my kids.
Mm.
But
And you
again,
wanted to do
that's
that.
just me.
Yeah.
That's just
But
me.
that's because you knew what you wanted and you went for it. And a lot
Yes.
of time we numb that part so that it does not disturb what we think should be our path in the
Exactly.
corporation or in anything society has
Mm.
decided that it's the best path we should follow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. I mean, growing up, I grew up in a quite traditional family. You were
Yeah.
going to be a doctor, you were going to be a lawyer, or you were going to be in the sciences like research or
That's
something.
it.
Those were the three acceptable paths.
Mm.
And yet, my father was a businessman. He had like 7 businesses,
Yeah.
but
But he
still,
wanted his daughter to do
Yeah,
the traditional,
because
conventional.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah.
that's what the family was, in general,
Expecting.
you expected, university educated, all of this. With my
Mm.
kids now, I say to them, if you want to do one of those careers that really need the university pathway, it's like any kind of medicine or professional career, yes, it still requires that. And I say to them, but if you don't want to do university, you don't want to do any of the careers, I don't care.
Mm.
Do what you want to do,
Time have
and
changed. You're so right.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, and again, back to the team, the other thing I do is something called a penta.
Mhm.
So part of human design, which I personally find so, so, so amazing, is the dynamics, the composites. So how two people sit on top of each other and
Mhm.
activate all of the energies. So
Wow.
you
Okay. So nothing is suffocated. Everybody can be an expression, a full expression
full
of themselves.
expression and
Mm.
knowing where you might have conflict, because there'll be conflict.
Yes.
Where is that conflict likely to happen?
Uh-huh.
Where do you amplify each other? And then when you times that through 5 in a team,
Mhm.
you can place people in the appropriate position, and then your 5-person team behaves as a 30-person team.
Uh, wow, that's right. Because it's all
So
amplified.
it's all
This is
amplified.
fascinating.
It's
Surely
amazing.
we can talk about this for hours. You are such a fascination, and I love the way you have deepened the work
Mm,
about how to unlock really energetics within leadership sphere. I think it's
mm,
fascinating. I am tempted, and I know people listening to us is like, "What is this?" So I'm going to drop your link so that whoever wants to really go into human design and understand what are the parts that could be amplified or could be worked on to
mm.
thrive faster, I
Yeah,
guess.
so I have two things that I offer as initial touch points. One is that soul discovery that I was talking about, which is just an initial 90-minute session. But the other thing, because we're in your group, and I really want to honor and thank
Mm.
you, and I have your
Oh,
gratitude for bringing me into the group.
oh,
That if anybody wishes to get a guide on visibility and content and social media posting
wow.
based on the type and the human design specifics. So it's not just if you are, I don't know if you know the types of projector, manifesting generator. There are very basic guides out there. I've created 5 very, very specific ones.
Wow.
Normally I charge for those, but I'm willing to offer those
That is
to
so
you
sweet. Yeah.
as a gift.
So I'm inviting everyone, whoever wants to reach out to Charlie. We can find you on Facebook. I dropped the link there. Are you also on Instagram on different
I
platforms?
am on Instagram, but just via Facebook. So I'm more on
Just
Facebook.
for Facebook. So I'm going to drop again Facebook. That is
Mm,
so generous of you. I really appreciate it. I'm so touched. You're such a beautiful human being and soul, and I'm impressed by the way you have, put together all this understanding that has also the conventional, but also the energetics in it. And it feels home to me because it's like, okay, we speak a language where you can combine everything and it sounds professional.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. I enjoyed having you this morning. Thank you so very much, Shirley, for your time.
Wonderful, wonderful host. Thank you so much.
And I wish you all the best in everything you do. And thank you for doing what you do. And we need to hear more of it. And like just making people feel home in their own work and their own jobs, really. Um, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you. Thank
much.
you, everyone, for being with us. Bye.